Hello and welcome to 10x Growth Talk. This next 10 videos that I'm going to do is going to be on a concept created by Dan Sullivan, and it's called the Laws of Lifetime Growth. And I'm going to share with you the 10 laws of lifetime growth, and we're going to do one law at a time, one video for each law. And we're going to start with the first law, and that's always make your future bigger than your past. Okay, law number one. So the past is something that is very useful for all of us. It's stuff that we take from the past, experiences we've had, learnings, things that have happened to us that are the raw materials for building a bigger future. And we all have these resources that we can bring from the past into the future to build a better and bigger future. And I want to start out with a story of Colonel Sanders of KFC. Now, Colonel Sanders had a series of failures that happened in his past. When he was 62 years old, he came up with the recipe of, making the best fried chicken, and that became Kentucky Fried Chicken. And at age 62, Colonel Sanders created a huge future, and it was bigger than his past. Now, he had so many failures and all of this stuff that he brought in, and he never stopped. He just kept, believing that he had a bigger future and kept working on his bigger future. And he had the courage to think big even at the age 62. So what I believe is a bigger future is for myself is constantly improving and measuring myself up against myself and taking some of the past. We always talk about the past experiences coming in, and it's our choice to bring in some of the past into the future and leave some of it behind, because some of the past experiences and things that have happened to us is really not useful for building a bigger future. And you only want to bring in the past experiences or the raw material from the past that are actually going to be useful for building your bigger future. And it all starts with believing, and this is the single most important thing, is believing that you have a bigger future than your past. I've met a lot of people that are really living in the past, and the past is big for them, and they believe that the future is worse than the past. And a lot of times you catch them talking about the past and just reminiscing on how good it used to be when, and then they'll explain when this happened or that happened. Or in my case, it's our family that came from Armenia, and they always talk about how good it was when they lived in Armenia, or how good it was when this was happening or that was happening, and how it's not as good anymore. To me, their past is bigger than their future, so they've given up. They don't believe that they do have a bigger future than the past. Well, the story of Colonel Sanders really motivates me, because he really had a past of failures and failures and failures, and one day he succeeded and created KFC at age 62. There is some steps that you have to take to build a bigger future than the past. The first step is asking yourself this R-factor question, which is also Dan Sullivan's question that I really like to ask myself and others. And that question is, if we were sitting here 3 years into the future, looking back over those 3 years, what has to have happened for you to feel good about your progress, both personally and professionally? Now, that question is, looking into the future, you're in the future looking into the past. And then you start writing down, in my personal, I would like to have this and these experiences and that would make me feel good. And professionally, I would like to accomplish this or do that, and that would make me feel like I've had progress. And that's the raw material. That's basically what you have to do to ask yourself those questions and start writing down and set goals, because that's where your goals will come out of, is, going into the future and looking back and then figuring out what has to have happened for you to feel good. And it's not only about professional, it's not about how much money you could make, it's about life experiences as well. It's about, create happiness and joy into your future. And that's where it all starts. So law number one, always make your future bigger than your past, and believe that you have a big future ahead of you. Thank you, and until the next video, have a great day, great week.